What's good, everybody? It's your brother Mad Black, the most dangerous and the most toxic black man on the internet. And I'm black up in your face again with some more pro black commentary. So, I've been looking online and I've been seeing some people do commentary on a certain video segment where you have Dr. Umar Johnson and he's being interviewed by these two young men. And the conversation basically gets into, the gender war, basically, and the issues that black men and black women are having with one another. And Umar, he went into his basics. He always retreats to these basic talking points of basically it's the black man's entire responsibility to fix things and to deal with whatever is going on with the black woman, no matter what is going on with her, no matter what mistakes she's making, no matter what, situation she might have gotten herself into, it's still the responsibility of the black man to come through and basically kind of play cleanup. So, I saw that and I wanted to kind of give my commentary on it. So let me start from the beginning of just saying, first of all, like just my humble opinions on Umar Johnson himself. Anytime you hear certain commentaries from certain people, you might want to take into consideration their personal life. And, I made a video talking about Dr. Umar and some of his relationship choices, and it was taken down when my old channel, like right before my old channel got taken down, I put that video up and I talked about how, the reason Dr. Umar agrees with some of these crazy, wayward, feminist minded females out here is because he is the excuse me, I'm almost choked right there, but he is the dusty guy that they are actually talking about in their videos. When they talk about a three trash bag dusty, or a guy who's no good, or a guy who likes to impregnate women and not take care of his children, they're talking about Dr. Umar, okay? A man who is, or a male who is basically transient, living from place to place, no real place to stay, no real place of residence, sometimes living with his mama, uh, always scheming and trying to come up with some sort of scheme to get money or to get draws, always hitting on or flirting with women and having lots of women in his rotation, and also having children out of wedlock and not taking care of them. So he fits the stereotype in all ways, shapes, and forms, okay, of the Dusty, Pookie, and Ray Ray. So of course he's going to say, hey, you know, if I screw up, if I go out here and have kids out of wedlock, or I impregnate some woman and don't marry them, of course he's going to say, yeah, you go pick up the pieces. You, as a single man who doesn't have any children at all, you go pick up the pieces and you help to clean up the community after the mess that I made, basically. You see, after I caused chaos and disorder, I want you to go clean it up. So of course he goes with that type of mindset. All right. And it's always interesting to me because Dr. Umar, he has at least two children out of wedlock that we know of. And I think there probably is more, but we know for a fact that there are at least two of them. And uh, it's always interesting that he's always out here talking mess about how he wants, two queens to marry, two women to marry, because he's all into polygamy and whatnot, which a lot of these knuckleheads are always into polygamy. They don't take care of their children, but they always advocate for having more than one wife. But Negro, you already had two kids by two different women out of wedlock. Those are your two queens right there. Why don't you just go marry them and raise your children? If it's that imperative that you have two queens, go ahead and marry those two queens and then raise your children. That way you won't have to go back and forth to child support and pay your child support in bulk, as he says, right? So that's my personal feelings on Umar Johnson. Okay. Uh, Now my feelings on just that mindset and that type of situation. As a pro black male, you have never, ever seen me come on here and say that a black man who is single needs to come and be a stepfather to some kids that aren't his, or to marry or be with a black woman who has children already. Okay? I've never been someone that says you have to do that. Now, if you want to do that, if that's your personal choice, that's your personal choice. I don't attack black men who make the choice either way. You understand? Like, I don't think anyone should be shamed or have pressure put on them to do certain things when it's not their issue or not their responsibility to do. Okay? However, I do think it is black men's responsibility to help with rebuilding and fixing the community, because black men are part of the community and they are partially responsible for the condition of the community. Okay, I'm one of those people, you know me here, I look at both sides. And the black community did not get there because one gender was doing something bad and the other gender was just sitting there like an angel and not doing anything at all. Okay? And I hate to see this back and forth and this gender war and this mindset where you'll have black men pointing the finger at black women saying it's all black women's fault, and black women pointing the finger at black men and saying it's all black men's fault, when the truth of the matter is both of our faults. Okay? And it's a cycle. It goes back and forth. All right? One begets the other. Okay? It's like trying to argue what came first, the chicken or the egg. Who screwed up first, the black man or the black woman? You're just wind up going in a circle over and over again because you can find both sides being causes in certain situations all the time. Okay? So, that being said, if both of us are responsible for the chaos and the destruction in the community, we are also both responsible and also capable of being the solution for the community. Understand? We're not going to get out of this situation with one gender or the other. There's no divesting your way out of this. There's no passport broing yourself out of this. Okay? If black men and black women are truly serious and want to fix the community, it's going to take both of us working together. Understand? And when I say that, I should say the sensible people in the black community need to work together to fix it. The knuckleheads and the idiots are not going to do it. Okay? They're not built for that. They're not thinking of that. Most of them are just thinking about their own pleasures and their own selfishness and their own childish mindsets. So there's nothing that we can gain from them. Just let them fall by the wayside, because that's what's going to happen to them anyway, especially if we start working together, the sensible people, and taking our resources away from them. Okay? Because the only other people they're going to have to depend on is white supremacy, and we already know white supremacy is always going to trash them at some point. Okay? So that's my feelings on it. You'll never see me come on the line and talking about black men need to fix everything by themselves. I think it is black men's responsibility. We are partially responsible, but as far as a black man just marrying somebody or being with somebody that they don't want to be with because they have kids and you need to fix the mistakes that they've made, no, I would never do that. Now, like I said, it's a personal choice. If that's what you choose to do, go do that. Okay? My father did that, and that's why I'm here. So I can't be a total advocate against it. But then again, my mother's situation was different. Her first husband was dead. So, and my dad decided to be with her after her, even though she had children already, right? And he didn't have any. So that's up to the people to want to do. That's up to each individual to decide how they want to do things. If they want to build a family with this woman that already has children, they can do that. If they don't want to do that, I'm not going to shame them and point the finger at them and say that they need to do that. That's not something that we should be doing to men at all, especially for men who just have no children, because there are plenty of black men out here who have no children at all, who are just working or doing whatever, living their lives in solitude, basically, and just trying to maneuver through the dating circles out here, and a lot of them don't want an already made family. I know I didn't, even though I came from that type of situation. Um, when I didn't have any kids when I was in my early 20s. That doesn't mean just because my father decided to be with my mother when she had children doesn't mean I wanted to be in the same position. And I had the opportunity to do so, and I chose not to. Okay, I chose. There was a very pretty young lady that I knew in my early 20s, and she had 3 kids already, and I just wasn't with that. So I'm not trying to be the daddy to these 3 kids, so I declined on that. And I didn't get myself into any sticky situation where I'm having children with her. I wasn't even having sex with her. And I think that's the way a lot of black men need to be. They need to have that discipline to not get caught in that type of situation. Dr. Umar doesn't have that type of discipline. We all saw how he was simping and acting a fool over that damn conscious stripper, So he doesn't have that type of discipline. Talking about how he's going to crush your cookies and all that nonsense. But as black men, don't let him be the example. We need to have that type of discipline so we understand what we have to do in order to fix our community. And having knowledge and discipline and being truly responsible is one of the ways we do that. Okay? So hopefully you guys get what I was saying. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about it in the comments section. And I very much like to, hear what you folks, your opinions are on this subject. Anyway, Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on a devil's back.